Welcome back to the channel, and if you are new, welcome. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I post new content. Okay, y'all, so this is part 2 of how to complete an admission in long-term care. In the last video, I ended it with the arrival of the resident, everything that you should do when they come, and now we're gonna be going to, let's see, the part where we're going to be notifying the doctor about the admission. So let's go ahead and get into it. So once you've done everything in the room with the resident, got them squared away and comfortable, we're going to want to head out to the nurse's station and call our MD. Most of the times you would get them on the phone because the admissions normally come in a timely manner. It's not like after hours. So you would call them, and if you don't get them, then you just have to let the person on call know that you got an admission, and then they'll kind of give you a rundown on what they would like to do. But you're gonna call the MD, notify them, go over the orders that came in the 3008, let them know why the resident is there, kind of a little bit of history on what happened, the reason why they were sent to the hospital, and why they're at the nursing home. And once you do that and go over the orders, he's going to let you know if he wants to discontinue any medications, if he wants to start them on any type of new medications. Most of the time they'll just continue with what they have until they come in and see them, but they're most definitely going to order labs. So they're going to do a full, CBC and all of that good stuff. And if they're diabetic, they're going to do A1C. If they have thyroid issues, they're going to do a TSH and all that good stuff. So make sure you get them a history on them so they'll know if they need to do that. Why is Siri up here? This is slow. Okay, yeah, like I was saying, make sure you give them the history so they'll know what type of orders they need to place. So after you've done that, make sure you call the doctor and do this first before you send anything to the pharmacy or before you put anything in the computer. Because if they change anything or add anything, you don't want to have to go back and delete or do all the extra stuff. You just do it all at one time. So after that, you're going to want to fax orders to the pharmacy. Mostly it's going to be the scripts, because once you put the orders in the computer, it's going to automatically go over to pharmacy. Most of the times they use Omnicare. So like I said, once you put it in PCC, it's going to automatically go over to the pharmacy. But if not, you're going to want to fax. I do it anyways. They tell me that I don't have to, but I go ahead and fax the orders over, and most importantly the scripts. And once you've done that, you're going to want to start putting the orders in the system. But before you put the orders in the system, make sure you put the allergies in. Because if you don't put the allergies in, everything is going to be flat red in the computer. And it's going to tell you need to put the allergies in. Because the computer is going to let you know if the medication is going to contradict with their allergy. And it's also going to let the pharmacy know, so they'll call you and recommend something different. So make sure you put the allergies in first. Once you've done all the medications, which really don't take that long, you're going to want to make sure you put the diet in. And the facility have standing orders, such as crush medications if they're not capable of swallowing. It's also going to have like the over-the-counter medications like Tylenol and stuff like that. Unless they're allergic to it, you have to remove it. But make sure you put those standing orders in the computer. And then you also going to want to put the orders in to monitor the bowel movements, monitor the pain, and monitor their vital signs every shift. These things need to be done. So make sure that order is also put in. And then it's just a lot of UDAs that you're going to have to complete. And the ones that I mentioned earlier, like the bowel and bladder, the smoker's screen, the side rails, the wandering, fall, pressure ulcer, pain, the ADLs, and things like that. You're just going to have to go down and complete the list of UDAs. And once you've done that, you've basically completed an admission. So it's not really anything hard about doing it. It's just if you have your ducks in a row, if you have everything wrote down like how I just gave you guys, and do it in that order, it's kind of easy. The only thing that's bad is if the resident is like combative or confused or far risk and you can't get them to cooperate. That's when it becomes a problem. But as long as you get everything you need when the reporting nurse call, write that down, and then go in and do all your assessments and ask all the questions you need when the resident arrives. Get everything signed. And like I said, if the resident is not capable of signing, you need to get a consent from a family member, and you also need to have someone witness that phone call, because you will have to sign it and initial it, and they'll have to sign an initial. And then after you completed everything in a computer, got the orders and everything put in, you're going to have to do a baseline care plan. All facilities don't make the nurses do it, but some do. And it's just basically putting if the resident is a fall risk, and if they are a fall risk, what do you plan on doing? If their skin is impaired, what would you do? And also, when you go in and do the skin check, if they do have a skin tear, make sure that it's notated in the computer. Make sure you put a note in the computer. Make sure you notify the wound care nurse. Make sure you do a treatment, like not a full-on treatment. If they came from the hospital with a treatment, you can let the doctor know and put that in the computer, and you can go ahead and start doing that treatment. But do not let any skin tears or anything that's skin impairments go unnoticed. You have to do that, because if it gets infected and gets worse than what it was when they came from the hospital, you're going to be in trouble. Pressure ulcers, even a little skin tear, whatever the case may be. Because like we said, the elderly skin is very fragile, and it takes a lot to heal, so we want to stay on top of that. So definitely do not overlook any skin impairments. If they came from the hospital with a UTI as well, you're going to want to make sure you keep water and stuff at the bedside. Make sure you see if they are on fluid restrictions and things like that, because if they are, you don't want to put any water in the room, like a cup, because you need to give them, just the amount that they need at a certain time. So if state comes in and they are on fluid restriction and it's a cup at the bedside, they will say something about that. If they're on dialysis and stuff, make sure the port and everything is intact. Make sure you're feeling and listening and keeping all that intact. Make sure you get their dialysis days and all of that squared away. These are just extra things that's going to probably come up. But you don't get this all the time, so that's why I didn't throw it in there. But I'm mentioning it now so you'll have heads up. If they came with an IV, you're going to want to make sure you get information on when that was put in, how long it's been there, and, when it needs to be changed out and things like that. Make sure that's in there. And a lot of times at some facilities, you don't have to do all of this because they have a admissions team. You only have to do like certain things, but in the case that you have to do all of it, this is definitely most of the things that you'll need to know. Also, don't forget, if they are diabetic, when you put in monitoring the BM every shift and the pain and the vital signs every shift, make sure you include monitoring the blood sugar every shift, because sometimes nurses overlook that. They don't put in monitor the blood sugar and it don't get passed along, and the resident does not get their blood sugar checked, and they'll bottom out, or either it'll be very, very high. That's happened a lot. Like, people forget to put that in and it does not get checked. And sometimes the resident be like, hey, I haven't got my blood sugar checked since I've been here. They'll let you know. Or worst case scenario, it'll be too high or too low, and then you have a big problem. So make sure that is put in, most definitely off top. Make sure the diet slip is took to the kitchen, so they'll know that a new resident is there, and they'll send the trays and the snacks and all of that good stuff. It's a lot of like small things that you have to do, but most importantly, the big things is what I've already went over. So I'm just gonna go back over the list. And if you haven't checked out part 1, it's very important that you check out part 1, because I gave you like most of all the information. So if you're watching this right now and you haven't seen part 1, you need to go see part 1. Okay, because this one is irrelevant if you haven't seen part 1. So I'm fixing to just go back over the steps that I did go through in part 1. I'm not going to go in full detail. I'm just going to go over it. So the first thing was, admissions will notify you about an admission, and they'll give you the packet so you can kind of look through that packet. Part 2, well, number 2 is the nurse will call and give you the report. You'll ask all the questions that you need to ask then, such as diagnosis, last bowel movement, scripts, if they have any personal items, and like what have they all done at the hospital. Number 4 is make sure the room is ready. Make sure you have their pan available, the soap, comb, whatever that resident needs. Accommodate the room to that resident. Make sure the remote's there, the call bell, ARS working, TV, things like that. And then number 5, the resident will arrive to the room. You want to make sure you record the time that they come. Number 6, you want to go to the room with the CNA, do assessments, ask all the questions you need to ask, get them to sign paperwork and things and that such. And then after that, you're going to want to call and notify the doctor, get new orders, lab orders and all that good stuff. Fax. Number 8 is fax everything to the pharmacy. Number 9 is start putting everything in the computer. Make sure you do the allergies first. And then from there, just complete your UDAs and all the extra other things that you need to put in the computer. Like I said, most of the time, the facility will give you a admissions checklist. It's very important that you follow this. It's basically a breakdown, kind of everything that I said is here. It's just not broken down. It's just giving you like the steps that you need to do. But I'm giving you information on how to do it in an easier way. So that's basically an admission. And then this care plan that I went over, it has to be signed as well. So after you complete it, make sure you sign it at the bottom. Like I said, sometimes as a nurse, you don't have to do the baseline care plan, but in a facility that's low staff and don't have, you know, too many people doing so many jobs, you have to do it. So it sucks, but sometimes we just have to do what we have to do. Okay, so before I ended the video, I kind of wanted to show you guys the 3008 and go over it with you. So it has all the important information about the resident on it. So it's very important that you receive this in the packet. It's going to have their gender, their race, their language, their eyesight, if they're blind, they have normal hearing. It's also going to have, if you see decision-making capacity, It's going to also let you know if they're able to make their own healthcare decisions and if they need, a surrogate or a POA. It's going to have their emergency contact listed as well. And as you can see on the letter E, it has medical conditions and recent hospital stay. So when you call the physician, you won't have to scramble for this information. It'll already be here for you. And then it also has more information about where they was transferred from, because you also need to include that when you're doing the admission inside. The computer is going to ask you for it. It's going to also tell you the nurse and a way to contact them if you need to call them back. But like I said, sometimes they have reported off and you cannot get them on the phone. So it's important to ask all the questions during the report. Also, if you look over to the right hand side on the letter L, it's going to let you know about if they're on anticoagulants, antibiotics, if they take insulin, and all that good stuff. So like I said, 3008 is very important. You should look over this. It's going to give you mostly all the important information that you need. Y'all excuse the rooster in the background sitting outside. But let me show y'all the back side of its information on that as well. Okay, so I could not find a copy that was not blurry, but you can still see the part that I'm trying to talk about, which is on the top right hand side. You see the body parts, the front and the back. So this is going to point out skin issues that that's on the resident. So if they have anything highlighted on there, make sure you go in the room during the assessment and check it out. Make sure it is what it say it is. And if you find anything new, I will go ahead and kind of, make note of that. But it should already tell you what skin issues they have. So pay attention to that. I wish I could go over the rest of it, but I really cannot see it. And I think at the top it'll have their last set of vitals. But other than that, pay attention to the skin assessment at the top. So that is all, you guys. I hope that this information was very, very, very helpful. Please, please, please leave some comments in the comment section if you have any questions or if you need to add on to anything that I said. Big thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And also, once again, please make sure you guys are watching the ads for me. Okay. And I will be going live, and I put a post on in the community tab asking what day should I go live, at what time, what's best for you guys, because I think I'm going to be doing what's in my bag. Not very sure, but just head over to the community tab and let me know when it's a good day, good time, and then I'll be doing that soon. And then I kind of want to do a mukbang. But I don't know what I want to do, what I want to talk about. But I'm probably going to do a true crime. I want to start doing true crimes on healthcare workers. So it's probably going to be something like that. I think that'll be interesting, something new to do on the channel. So you guys definitely head over to the community tab. I will be posting questions and stuff in there so we can do more for the channel. Because like I said, I will be posting more. I'm going to be more consistent. I hope y'all enjoyed the last 3 videos that I posted. It didn't get too many views, so if you haven't seen it, head over there and watch it, please, and thank you. And yeah, it was nice talking to you guys today. Okay, y'all, so the scenery is different, but I forgot to add some things in the video, so I want to add it now. I was outside stretching and I thought of it, and I just can't, let it pass by. So the first thing that I thought of is when you and the CNA are in a room doing the checks, make sure the CNA is getting their belongings and notating it. It's a list that comes in the chart. The chart will be put together. It's a list that comes with it that has a check off. If they come with like clothes and glasses and all that, you have to notate it and put it back in the chart so everyone would know, have an inventory of what they came in with. So make sure the CNA fills that out, and make sure you double check it, go over with it, and sign it with them. And then I had thought of something else too. Oh yeah, after you put the orders in the computer and everything, you still will need to put those orders in the chart as well on the order form. I know it might be a lot of writing, but at the facility that I worked at, one of them that I worked at, they wanted us to fill out the order form as well, to have, like I
not
said,
the
paper trail
3008, but the
of
order form that comes.
the orders.
You can
and you
go
can't
by
really go
that,
by. You can go by the 3008 that
like
comes.
I said, sometimes the doctor updates it. I don't know why I said 3008. I didn't mean to say that, y'all.
But if the doctor changes anything, you need to have that, put in the chart. So make sure you fill out those order forms as well. And if you're not sure of what I'm talking about, if you go and watch the video that I have on how to complete an order form, that's the order form that I'm talking about. But most of you should, know. And it was something else that came up. If I think of it, I am going to go ahead and insert it as well, because I don't know, a lot of stuff that started coming to my head when I was out here stretching, and I did not want to pass it up. So I'm just going to insert this somewhere in the video. And if I think of something else, I'm going to insert it too. So this video might be kind of, but it's informative, and I don't want you guys to miss out on anything. So I'm going to make sure I let you guys